Laugh or Else Radio Show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radio Land. Fortunately for LOE Radio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
Hey yo, it's WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. My name is Tim Radicek, your freeform community DJ, and I'd like to welcome you to the Laugh or Else Radio Show. Hope you enjoyed the K-Sound experience, which happens every Saturday from 10 p.m. to midnight here on WNUR. But when my show comes on, we are rolling through the freeform programming, which means we turn it upside down. I know you guys like to hear that underrepresented music and such, but I'm trying to land a job in radio.
That's right.
I've already done this stuff. So you're not going to hear too many PSAs, commercials, or any of that. It's all going to be fun and freeform nonsense. And joining me in the studio is longtime friend and co-host, Mr. J. Sal.
What's going on, Timmer? What's up, Chicago? Good to see you, my friend.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, man. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you, man.
That's to you as well.
Thank you.
I've got a few former servicemen and women in my family, so
same here.
Big shouts out to them.
Absolutely.
This morning. Hope you're gonna get your barbecue on before it starts raining. It was a miserable day in Chicago. Well, a week actually,
right.
Up until today, man. And then after the rain dries up, it gets real steamy and hot.
Right.
And then it sucks even worse because 75 feels like 90.
That's very true. Well, it was nice, but it's still cold at night, though, man. You can't beat that. You can't shake it.
Yeah, that's true. You put a fan on with the window open a little bit, you're okay.
That's right.
So I'd like to welcome you to the show. Our show is a little different, as I've pointed out. We do a little thing that's kind of like just commercial radio, except without the commercials. And what we do is we cover a week in review, because we're only once a week, and then it's Chicago news, world news, and then we do some sports if there's worthy stuff to talk about. I don't know if
a couple things, man. It's a couple things.
Right. I don't know if we're really going to talk Cavs and Warriors, part three.
The rubber match?
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Well,
might as well to break it down now.
It's obviously the Warriors.
You think so?
Yeah, dude.
Cavs got a chance, man. LeBron's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, but he can't stay consistent. He had those two bad games, and I don't know.
LeBron, but he likes to take off like a couple of games like that just to rest and preserve his energy, but... Yeah, man. I think, if he's on a mission like he was last year, man, I think that the Cavs will win again.
LeBron is too busy comparing himself to Jordan and Pippen and all that. Did you see that thing with Pippen?
Yeah, done all the great ones. Like, basically, he kind of, like, without saying, he said that LeBron is the best.
Yeah, right now, But who knows what it would have been like 25 years ago when he was playing with Jordan in his peak, in his prime. What if he was a Knick back in the day, man? The Knicks would have been furious. Like,
3 words for you, Timmer, if anybody says comparing the NBA players, the dominant players nowadays versus 20 years ago, 2-hand check.
Yeah.
The defense is everything about it, man. You could put 2 hands on. You could pretty much grab people. Stockton liked to do that. Remember that? He likes to grab people by their jerseys.
Yeah, you pull him if he gets by you. You grab hold of the jersey so it slows him down.
Rodman would do the same thing just to try to have the upper hand, and
sure,
a lot of dirty. What are considered dirty players, but as the age-old saying goes, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Well, you got to invent new ways to play the game once you've mastered everything else. So
LeBron flops now, so it's no different than trying to get that extra edge.
Yeah, Jordan never had to flop, man.
No, he didn't. He always got the calls.
Yeah,
though.
That's
why
he
got
drove.
The calls, man.
He drove the hole.
Don't forget his last play as a Chicago Bull, man. How Byron Russell, man, he just threw him to the side. Remember that? Cleared him out. He's like, get out of the way. Nobody called anything.
That's right.
That follow through was perfect. He's like, whoop, like that, and beautiful jumper. And that's all she wrote.
All right. Well, we'll recap sports later, man. Yeah. We got a lot of time. So, all right. As we are celebrating 25 years since the release of House of Pain's first album, which is called Fine Malt Liquor, you can hear just about influence in a lot of MCs that are out today, man. There's something about the way they sounded when they came out made everybody proud to be Irish, dude.
Right.
Like, I remember it was overwhelming. Everybody bought Celtics jerseys.
Right. Everybody was a Celtics fan all of a sudden.
And then Mark Wahlberg came out.
Started doing his thing, kind of like a little saturated House of Pain himself.
Right. So he was Boston at the time. And
right. He still is, man.
I gotta say that House of Pain maybe made it okay for other white MCs to step out of the shadows, you know?
Yeah. And then Eminem said, "No, we're here, man. It's me. I am your god."
Yeah, but you know what's weird? I was thinking about this earlier. Is that Eminem he's accused of dissing Everlast, you know, in some tracks.
Right.
But then it comes to all these mumble rappers who are dissing all the greats from before. I think it's just the evolution, dude.
Right.
Like, but I mean, these kids now are just like kind of saying that Biggie and Pac don't even exist in their world.
But that's not even him. I think sometimes it's his producer, somebody around him, saying, distance yourself from them. When you think about it, put some distance between you and these other people that came before you.
Right.
Let them know that you're more dominant, and the only way to do it is call them out. Talk smack about this, talk smack about that. That's why he's doing it. He's just doing it for the sake of it's part of the show, man. And then backstage and stuff, these guys are actually getting along with each other.
Sure. I hope that's the case.
They are, man.
All right. Well, Jay, let's recap what's been going on the last week. I know I haven't been here in the last 2 weeks. But
I haven't been here in a while either, so it feels good to be reunited.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff always to talk about. Like I said, it was cold and rainy all week in Chicago with mild bullet storms moving throughout the city.
Yeah, bullet storms.
Yeah, only about 4 deaths since Thursday.
Oh, well, thank God for that.
Yeah, but the next few days are promising to heat up, and we're supposed to be cruising into the mid-70s all next week.
It's about time, man.
Yeah, but like I said, 75 feels like 90.
Yeah. I got a feeling, man, we're going to have another mild summer. It's only going to be hot it's only going to be hot like a couple days in the summertime, my friend.
You think so?
Yeah, it's global warming, man.
I don't know,
Which
man.
it takes the Pope, the pontiff, to give a letter to Trump to let him know, hey, man, this stuff's real. Why don't you pay attention there, buddy?
The Pope?
Yeah, remember that?
What does the religious man have to do with the weather?
Do you remember that he gave the global warming, man? Remember they exchanged gifts? Trump's trip to...
Yeah, I've heard about his trip there and his trip to Saudi Arabia, and he
met with the Pope, exchanged gifts. He gave him a couple things, some letters about equality from the Martin Luther King days, and then the Pope said, here's the thing on global warming if you don't believe it, man. So it's a little funny snippet.
Right, yeah, and then like I said, he met with the Saudi prince and gave him a bunch of money to fight terrorism in Syria or something.
Right, and then they danced with each other.
Right, and then they touched some weird orb. Remember, did you see that picture I posted?
I think so.
From the
that's right.
Yeah, from the heavy metal cartoon, that crazy meteor.
They touch tips. They touch tips. They touch the tips.
Well, big changes are on the horizon for Chicago, and Illinois taxpayers. More budget cuts to schools and tax hikes for just about everything, including more guaranteed construction for several years in the making. This includes the possible expansion of Route 53, Jay.
That's something.
Yeah, how far are they going to they're going to expand an extra lane, I assume, but how far does that go?
To infinity and beyond.
Exactly, which means it'll be construction nonstop for years.
Started already, man.
For years.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they put up, just in one little area, they put up a turn lane and a traffic light, and it took them over a year.
Right.
So what a extra lane on both sides is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Amtrak is looking to spend $1 billion on a redevelopment deal for Union Station.
Oh, wow.
That's more years of construction there and travel inconveniences for everybody.
It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful building, though, man.
Sure,
the times I've had a chance to be in there. They filmed the freaking awesome carriage scene down the stairs, man, in the Untouchables, man.
That's right. Yeah. With what's his name?
With
Elliot
Sean Connery.
Ness.
Yeah, it was Sean Connery. It was a young and very virile Robert De Niro, as well as Kevin Costner.
Sure,
absolutely.
Fantastic film.
Fantastic movie.
Always just like the stupid Irish bring a knife to a gunfight.
That's right. That was Sean Connery, man. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Sean Connery, 007, shout out, rest in peace to Roger Moore, man.
Roger Moore died at 73 or 83?
73, I believe. And I remember my dad, Timmer, taking me to go see my dad, who passed away, for those listeners and stuff. I might have spoken about this late last year. He took me to see my first 007 movie as a kid. It was A View to a Kill. when of all the Bond girls that could have been, Tanya Roberts one of them. The other one, Grace Jones.
Oh my God!
Remember that? She was a Bond girl. They had a sex scene together.
Yeah.
He saves the world. He romances beautiful, some not so beautiful women. Christopher Walken, remember that?
I do.
He's like, I need more bad guys. I gotta think. Guys, like, I have a fever, and it's more bad guys that take care of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
Cowbell.
A View to a Kill. Remember, Duran Duran was a cool Bond song, and so it was a nice little Bond pun intended that me and my dad shared. And like I said, R.I.P. Roger Moore, man.
Yep. We got a few more shout outs to send to some other celebrities that have passed on recently, including the great Chris Cornell of Soundgarden fame.
R.I.P. man.
And Temple of the Dog.
Yes, sir.
Man, outstanding performer.
Great voice, man.
I've been reading stuff about the family denying like that he was suicidal. That this
medication,
may be
right? Probably.
This may be something that was out of control with his medicine. And there's plenty of instances of that recorded throughout a lot of issues and cases that have happened. Like some of these guys that shoot up, like the Batman dude that shot up the theater, he was all riddled with this the SSRIs.
Did you say riddled and Batman?
Riddled, yes. Riddle me this.
Right.
But with the budget cuts for schools and tax hikes, we'll talk about how Illinois is the most corrupt state in the union later.
Right. Speaking of which, though, Tim, another here's two words to help the budget there: legalize it.
Yeah,
Damn
but
it, legalize it.
The problem then would be the overwhelming control they have over the stuff that
everybody's gonna want a piece of that, aren't they?
Right. Well, yeah, and then it'll be down to a few, and they won't even be people that they'll be foreign investors, just like the toll booths and
the toll booths, and then the
parking meters.
Parking meter. Thank you. Yeah.
They were trying to sell the airports to them too, which, god damn, this city sucks, dude. And we're gonna get into that.
Right. I know you got a good story about an article about that, man.
Yeah. Sure. More details on that. The beaches were open on Friday. Too bad it was raining.
Right. Those beaches are closed.
Yes, they're closed.
Those beaches.
Close
the beaches.
Until the garbage washes up to the shore.
Yeah, do the chore.
Chicago Film Fest is happening this weekend, Jay.
Love the Film Fest, my friend.
Also, Mel Brooks, who we were just talking about, is in town.
A pre-show meeting.
Yeah, screening Young Frankenstein.
That was earlier today, man. It was.
Or as Gene Wilder, rest in peace, would have said, Frankenstein.
Right, it's Frankenstein.
Yeah. He's screening his movie and doing a Q&A at the Chicago Theater. Well,
I would pay anything to see Mel Brooks do the Inquisition from History of the World. The Inquisition, what a show! The Inquisition. Here we go. We're on a mission.
You see
to
a lot
convert the Jews.
You see a lot of influence in The Simpsons.
Oh my God! And you know who begat him, or who's basically his follow-up is. Did I use that right? Begat, is that after or is that before?
I'm not sure.
Because the word you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like biblical term. But
violence begets violence.
Yeah. His offspring, so to speak, the great Trey Parker, man, from South Park. I've said that he's kind of a version of Mel Brooks, man.
Sure.
And you know what I'm talking about, from South Park to the movie to Team America, man. Great song maker and
all
just a
quality
filmmaker.
material they make.
Absolutely,
and it's just well written.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for everybody. The humor is obviously over the top and adult.
Right.
But it's
funny though. It's quality stuff. Especially, I love the parody songs that
they're
do.
always pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable, and that's what makes South Park such a mainstream success.
And they still keep up to dates. I mean, they're still relevant in that sense.
Sure, they're like
absolutely.
every episode is something that's been in the news.
Right.
It's really irking people. I don't know. I haven't watched in a while, and I gotta think there's a whole lot of Trump stuff going on.
Right. I like the one with Tom Cruise and stuff, who's in the news just talked about they're doing a sequel to Top Gun.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah, it is true.
Oh
and he's
God.
also going to be in the reboot of The Mummy from the Brandon Fraser movie from the late 90s.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So basically the one where he's like all ticked off at Hollywood, I think, and he hides in like one of the kids' closet. They're like, Tom, get out of the closet. face the facts. And the whole episode, Tom, get out of the closet.
Wait a minute. You cannot make a Top Gun 2 without Goose.
Anthony Edwards?
Yeah. Right. No, the other guy.
Anthony Edwards.
Iceman.
Oh, Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
I don't know if Val Kilmer can fit into that cockpit seat,
that's
man.
What I'm saying. He can't fit in the plane.
He can't, man. They should make a sequel called Chubby Batman or something like that.
Man, he looks bloated, don't he?
You know what? But hey, come on. So did Carrie Fisher. Look how svelte she looked, man, when, they did the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You don't remember that. So, yeah, you just get on the strict diet plan, and then you're good. You know that.
Yeah. Jay, also in town is the Combo Breaker video game convention.
All right.
It's happening this weekend at the Pheasant Run Resort Mega Center.
In St. Charles?
In St.
Good
Charles.
old St. Charles, Illinois, the pride of the Fox Valley.
If you're there, say hi to Cindy. She's the overseer at the Pheasant Run Resort, as well as Zany's Comedy Club in Rosemont.
Overseer. I don't know if I like that word, man. Makes you think of slave masters, man. He overseeing the plantation here. Is this the Karukan plantation?
It is.
I like the way you die, boy. You remember that Django Unchained? Remember that?
Back to work. Yeah, so check that out. It'll be happening all day tomorrow as well. Ari Spears.
Yeah, I remember him from
Famous
Mad TV fame.
Mad TV.
He does a good Shaq, too.
Comedian, yes.
That's right.
Shaq has invited him to the Shaq Comedy Showcase every year.
Right.
And he will also be in town at the Improv Comedy Showcase in Schaumburg all weekend. So check him out. Shows on Sunday. If you're looking for a barbecue on Memorial Day but didn't want to deal with all the cleanup, head off to Rosemont's Memorial Day Cookout. Features fireworks, food, music, and a tribute act called Elton Ron and the rockabilly band West Side Winders.
That's say that 3 times, or pal.
No, I had
Elton Ron.
Yeah, not Elton John.
Not Elton John review. Not a homage to Elton John, but the review.
Right.
All right.
He better play the piano with his rockabilly
piano
band.
man. Okay.
But that'll be happening all day tomorrow at MB Financial Park.
Tomorrow or oh, you mean tomorrow as in Monday?
Tomorrow as in Sunday.
Oh, tomorrow as in Sunday.
Yeah, well, I'm still calling it tomorrow because I haven't slept from Saturday.
No, I got you, buddy. So this is going to be going on Sunday then?
Yes,
okay.
Everything I'm talking about.
All right, nice, very nice.
That's if you didn't have any Memorial Day plans issued.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, check out the West Side Winders and Elton Ron. Also, if that's not your speed, Jay, you could check out Neil Diamond's 50th anniversary tour.
Hey, that's right.
At 8 p.m. Sunday at the United Center. Tickets are roughly $125 each.
That's why all the immigrants came here. All the Mexicans came here. You know that, right, Tim?
That's correct.
The song, We Coming to America.
We are Americans.
That's right. Remember the end of Cheech and Chong we were talking about? Of Born in East LA?
Yeah, is that the movie it's from?
Yeah, that's from that. All the Mexicans, remember that? There's 2 guys in a border truck that are like yards and yards away, and there's a scene and stuff where he comes up, then he raises his hands like Jesus and they all appear, and then he basically yells, they're like, go! And they all start running down and he can't catch up to all the Mexicans crossing the border, man. Very funny movie, man. It's a mid to late 80s movie with Cheech Marin from Cheech and Chong, man. Yeah. Very funny. They mistake him for an illegal immigrant, deport him even though that he's, the whole point, born in East LA.
Paul Rodriguez is the best in that movie.
Yeah,
because he doesn't know about the answering machine.
Right, it's behind the picture of Jesus. It's got the eyes that move and stuff wherever you stand. You know those pictures and stuff with the eyes that move.
And every time he calls,
and he calls him and he goes, Javier, estoy en Tijuana, Javier. And then he looks at the pictures, he's like, Jesus está en Tijuana.
Mexican Americans don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music and white girls named Debbie too.
I love that part. White girls named Debbie too.
Mexican Americans are named Chata and Chela and Chema and have a son-in-law named Jeff.
Son-in-law
Mexican Americans don't like to get up early in the morning, but they have to, so
the
they
one
do it
where they go
real
get the space
slow.
coke at the end, ain't it?
I think, yeah.
Mexican Americans love education, so they go to night school and they take Spanish and get a B.
I got a C in my Spanish class.
Mexican Americans love their nanas and their nonos and their ninas and their ninos. Nanu, nanu, nina, nono.
All right, man. We can watch this whole movie. All right, well.
Shout out, speaking of Nina, shout out to my sister, man. That's her nickname, man. My little sister gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy, man, at downtown Chicago Hospital. So to her and my brother-in-law, Abel, man, God bless, man. Just had a chance to hold the baby earlier today. Okay, cool.
I didn't have nothing else queued up.
I know, right? The baby smells like nachos.
That's awesome.
But yeah, man, it's good. So, it's a beautiful thing, my friend.
So we've talked about what's been going on and what you could be doing on Memorial Day, but around the globe last week we've had number of weird issues with terrorism again, Jay.
Yeah.
This is getting out of control, man. First of all, people with vehicles. The guy in Times Square, you heard about that?
That was, I don't necessarily was a terrorist act, though, right?
You do anything that harms a bunch of people, that's I consider terrorism. It doesn't have to be a political movement, man.
Sure.
But if you're terrorizing the neighborhood, that's a terror.
Very true.
You're a terrorist.
He's a multi-DUI arrest, correct?
Yeah.
And then he was hopped up on PCP or something.
Man, and nobody could bring him. It took like 10 guys to bring him down.
Watch yourself, man. I think you almost slipped. But no, man, a young lady from Michigan visiting, of all things, man.
Right.
Was, oh, my God, I saw the video footage. Was unbelievable. If he
didn't hit that parking thing like that
he would have done more damage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he still got out and he was charging people. It's people are getting crazy. And it's
speaking of which, man, all the time, man, people criticize cops for shooting first and asking questions later. Man, where was a cop just to blast out the tires or blast him in the head?
There was a cop. In the video, you could see it like I don't know if he's like a crossing guard or like a traffic guy, but he wasn't in the best shape, and he was probably in his 50s, and he couldn't hold on to the guy.
But he tried.
Yeah, and I think he was more concerned with getting backup before putting himself in harm's way. And still, once you know somebody's on that kind of PCP, if you've ever seen cops and they're trying to bring down a dude, it takes like 9 of them.
Not trying to defend the situation, Timmer, but the whole Rodney King thing started because they said he was high on PCP.
Yeah, they don't.
The toxicology reports.
They don't show the 5 minutes before the beating.
That he was basically like the Incredible Hulk, right?
Yeah, he was swatting cops, dude. Like he was stomping. He was causing some havoc.
Right. So for every person to wanting to charge the cops with that, there's also the other cops that are put in danger, man.
Like the female cop last year, the dude was high, smashing her head off the concrete.
And then we talked about it. Remember that we said about how they didn't even want to shoot him because they're like, oh, people are going to start investigating.
We don't want to be the next viral video.
Right.
Was the exact
Which is a
quote.
bunch of crap, though. The guy's actually physically, when the guy's actually harming you, oops, did I kick that? Oh, my bad. When the cops actually, the suspect is harming you, then you can shoot the bastard, man.
Man, I think
think about it, poor girl, man.
If the threat is for your life, then you should be allowed to use whatever force is necessary
to defend yourself. That's first.
Preserve your life.
Right.
And anybody else in immediate danger, which is usually anybody in the public, man. If he grabbed a little kid and was doing that, I'd have shot him instantly.
Yeah.
But also, this is where the actual terrorist attack comes from, is the Ariana Grande show.
Wow.
Where a bomb had blew up and injured 24 people and maybe killed, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
Right. Yeah, a lot of children too, man. Kids, man.
I was talking about this with somebody earlier this week. Is why does this never happen to prominent figures in public, like celebrities and entertainers? Sure, but it never happens to like the mayors or the parliament members. It's like. I don't know, man. I don't know how they go unscathed. Everybody's mad at the system, but nobody goes to the system with their
right. They hit innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
Some kids just looking to have a nice time, man. Nice innocent fun.
Man, why
that kills me the most. You know that, right? That hurts me the most when I read about that. When it's innocent kids, man. Yeah. Like you said yourself, it's nobody politically coming after you.
Right.
It's not a tyrant that you view in your eyes.
Like all these innocent people at the movie theater, or all these people that are just walking down in Melbourne, Australia. They were just walking down the street. Right. And this dude jumps the curb and just mows down 30 in a van.
Right.
And then
So basically saying that it's not gonna meet jack squat if they take guns away. People are gonna still find a way to cause mass destruction.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then
Scary,
all the bad guys will still have guns anyway. So
when was the Germany one, Timmer? Was that last year or 2 years ago? Was it Germany? Remember the guy in the bus in like a big bus or truck?
Man,
like a dump truck. You remember that?
So many instances.
But there was one specific. I could have sworn it was either London or it was Germany. We talked about it as well.
Remember the Oslo thing?
Yeah.
And then man, it's just getting out of hand. And
a lot of scary stuff, man.
What happened in what else? Something else happened in Paris again or something recently. But I've been reading that Ariana Grande wants to come back and put on a free show. I think you might want to let that wound heal for a while.
Right.
Maybe send them some free DVDs.
Right. Besides, it's Ariana Grande. I think they've suffered long enough.
Yeah, exactly. The WWE promptly canceled a tour that was supposed to appear in Manchester as well.
Yeah.
No word on whether or not they'll follow up with a free show like Ariana Latte.
Ariana Latte.
Frappuccino.
Is that what I called her?
Yeah.
Ariana Latte. Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, that's pretty much the news and review.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of prominent Chicago stories that are all coupled with videos. We'll move right through this, get to our first music break. We'll come back.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll do some sports, but
maybe you're just teasing me with that, ain't you, man?
I know. I
got one beloved Bears news note, so it'll go quick, man.
Okay.
Your Cubs are still doing their thing. My Sox are still in rebuild mode.
I'm not
acquiring
happy.
young talent. You're not happy?
No,
not at all.
Not with the Cubs right now. No.
Pitching, right? It's the pitching, isn't it?
It's the pitching, and
been the pitching.
These guys like Schwarber that are
trade him, man. Remember they want to trade him straight up to the White Sox.
They're talking about trading Javi because he's a better candidate to land a better pitcher.
Sure.
So yeah, we'll talk sports.
Absolutely.
But Chicago's population, Illinois in general, has been declining for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and I wonder why. We just mentioned about the finances and this how expensive it is to live.
When Congress in Springfield only comes around to vote on more casinos.
That's their solution
in a
to
row,
everything.
Chicago has lost population. More than 8,600 people have left the city. The Census Bureau cites the city's crime and cash-strapped schools as reasons for people moving out of the city. NBC5's political reporter Marianne Ahern has the story.
Dick, Chicago is the only city of the large cities that has lost population from 2015 to 2016. It did start slowly, but is growing, and that has political leaders pointing fingers.
Your taxes are driving people the hell out.
Ideas why the city is losing residents.
Taxes. This great weather we're having in May.
Perhaps the crime headlines have
What
had
have to do with
impact
anything?
too.
I know.
Being the murder capital of the U.S. doesn't help either.
Chicago's population, 2.7 million, saw more than 8,600 leave from 2015 to 2016. The suburbs closest to Chicago also took a census hit. The largest racial group to leave the city, African Americans. Lawmakers in Springfield are certainly aware.
I got 2 or 3 friends just relocated to Atlanta and Houston.
10 of the 15 fastest growing large cities were located in the South. Chicago's population decrease, Governor Bruce Rauner spokesman, draws a correlation to, quote, the city's property taxes and fees have skyrocketed. It has surging violence, and it has threatened to close schools.
It hasn't threatened. It closed 50-something schools already in 2 years.
And notes the city's population was on the rise when Emanuel first took office. But, quote, the fact that the state of Illinois
how come nobody's
is
trying to
leading the
drive
nation
over
in
Rahm
population
Emanuel?
loss
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
do it.
Hi-yo again.
By Governor Rauner.
I got one going off to college, and it's like, do I really want to go to an Illinois state school? Because I don't know for sure it's going to be operational the way we're going.
It's too expensive. And
You can't open a business here.
So
are you
where
nuts?
are Chicagoans
Especially
moving?
like a store?
Phoenix, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Dallas have seen the most Windy City residents relocating.
Wow. Dallas is a nice place.
Thank you, Marianne.
Dallas?
I mean, the people...
Dallas, Fort Worth?
On April 11th of this year, 2 juveniles and a 66-year-old man were shot at this location.
Yeah. How many other people were shot at that location?
Pretty much.
That's what I'm
saying. And that's
saying.
just this week.
Yeah. So, if you were fleeing Illinois and Chicago...
and not just from the bullets.
Yeah, nobody would be mad at that.
Not at all.
You gotta go be prosperous somewhere else.
You have to, man.
I mean, if they raise here's my situation. If they raise income taxes, that means the raise I just got just goes right to taxes, man. So I don't like it. Screw that.
Nobody does, man. It's terrible.
So I read this article earlier today. The first police torture victim center opens in Chicago. And Jay, do you think you can translate?
Hit me with it, man.
I'll let the Chicago Tribune lay out the details here. But standing in a corner of the newly opened Chicago Torture Justice Center on Friday, Daryl Cannon quietly recalled the details of his experience with Chicago police detectives almost 34 years ago. And let's see what this article's about.
We are a space where people can rest and heal from the harms of unjust policing policies and practices. On May 6, 2015, City Council passed the reparations ordinance for survivors of Chicago Police Commander John Burge. And 2 years later, we gather today to celebrate the realization of another piece of the reparations package.
So it's like a rape victim center, but for people who are assaulted by police?
Yeah.
That you had to go through hell in order to get this. No one should have to go through hell.
I'm curious as to what hell you're talking about.
To bring about a measure of justice. This center is something that should never have to come about. But unfortunately, we live in a society where unless you speak up, then you're part of the problem because it's going to continue to exist. I don't care how much emotions I have to display. It doesn't matter how sick I may get. My job is to help and to facilitate justice.
It says Chicago's new center for police torture victims. I'm not sure torture is the proper word here. What sort of torture is happening between Chicago police and citizens?
Yeah, but there's also with the certain citizens, or, for example, they fit the description, they get tortured into a confession. And we've seen way too much money being paid out to people just because the cops wanted to make a quick arrest and close the case.
I don't know. The way I see torture is like waterboarding and drawn and quartering and that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, but if there's been stories about them, grabbing a phone book and slamming it against somebody's private parts. And yeah, I'm serious. There's been stories and stuff about them using unmentionable things to try to get them to confess.
Well, I've seen
something.
I've seen.
I mean, look how many people that were wrongfully convicted. You know that.
I've seen worse instances of abuse for less, but
yeah.
I mean, torture's still a word I wouldn't use for that scenario. I'd call it, a victim center, sure.
Right.
Just, it's not torture exactly. You were traumatized. It's a trauma center.
Yeah.
So Illinois Senate approves an income tax hike, Jay. And this is what I was just saying, that the raise I just got will be negated if I get some sort of...
A new budget plan is being debated right now in the state Senate. The issue is, will only Democrats support that plan, and what will it mean for taxpayers?
NBC5's political reporter Marianne Ahern here with more on that.
And as we speak, you're right, they are debating, and with no state budget for nearly 3 years, there is plenty of frustration. Governor Rauner blames the Democrats blame him, and the impasse leaves education funding, social service agencies, and a long list of others wondering, how can this continue? The Illinois Senate is ready to tackle a budget bill, and with a Democrat majority, they will likely win approval. The proposal includes a 32% income tax hike.
What,
taking
dude?
it from 3.75 to 4.95%.
No way.
Also included closing 3 corporate tax loopholes and expanding the sales tax.
You gotta be out your goddamn mind.
The person who didn't do this is the taxpayer.
All right.
They paid the increase that you asked them to last time, and what happened? Nothing.
You sell the toll booths.
Governor Rauner took to Facebook Live to reinforce where he stands. It is a property tax freeze he's insisting on before he will sign any budget bill.
The biggest issue that now stands in the way of us reaching a balanced budget agreement is resistance to freezing your property taxes and giving you the ability to control whether your property taxes go up or down in the future. And let me be clear, to get my signature, any agreement must include real property tax relief. You already pay the highest property taxes in America.
Over in the Illinois House,
you can't
GOP
raise my
leader
income
Jim
tax
clearly
wage and then drop my property
stalemate.
tax like that's some sort
We've
of
been at this for 2.5
consolation.
years, and for some reason to say that Republicans are not going to participate in non-budget discussions is a load of baloney.
It is a load of baloney.
The debate is
Even his
underway
microphone
as we
doesn't like
speak.
what he
The
has to say.
legislative session,
No.
we must remember,
Somebody cut
ends
that
May
dude's mic.
31st.
Get him out of
So
here.
After that date, not just a simple majority is needed, but a 2/3 vote. So there is lots of
2/3
pressure
of what?
going.
More
Like 2
difficult
thirds
as we move forward. Thank you, Marianne.
2
Thanks,
turds in a
Marianne.
toilet, which is what you can describe Springfield as. Man, these people are going haywire. And you want to see that the number of people leaving Chicago triple in a year?
There you go. One thing leads to another, my friend.
You can't make some compromise like, oh, we're gonna raise your income tax, a direct tax, and then lower your property tax, because not everybody. I'm sorry, but not everybody in Chicago is a homeowner. How many people rent? It's probably 90% renters and 10% owners, or something of that nature.
And that number is gonna get higher with the renters.
Yeah. So and then these guys are gonna have to pay more property tax, which means the rent gets higher, and the circle of life just continues to go down the toilet. Finally, this is a heartbreaking story. I didn't want to have to bring this up, but Jay.
Yes.
Operation Hot Towel. Chicago cracks down on illegal massage parlors tied to prostitution.
Oh.
Some of my best rub and tugs are under attack.
Oh, boy.
Good afternoon. A total of 11 massage businesses saw a sticker like that put on their front door. They were shut down. Now, not all of them were shut down because of prostitution. Still, one alderman wants to make it easier to shut down businesses not following the rules.
You gotta use rubber gloves.
Yeah. Get the blue light out.
Aren't really advertising what they really do.
Some massage businesses are fronts for illegal prostitution.
No,
last February,
you don't
working
say.
off tips from the public, Chicago Police, along with the city's Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Department, started Operation Hot Towel.
You're hindering
They checked
consumers.
61
You're
massage
not
businesses
protecting
for proper
them.
licensing and prostitution. In total, they made multiple arrests, handed out 178 violation tickets, which carry fines well into the thousands of dollars.
Stroking with no
and issued
lube.
11 cease and desist orders, 6 of those for prostitution.
This is a prostitution issue. This is an unlicensed business issue. But I think most importantly, this is a human
want me to fluff your
trafficking
pillow?
issue.
What was called one of
You
the
want me
worst
for
cases
pillow?
of human trafficking in the Chicago
No, for the
area
love
was
of God.
perpetrated by this man, Alex Campbell, who was serving a life term. Back
looks
in
like
2012, at the Day and
what
Night
TV
Spa
show
in Mount
is that?
Prospect.
What,
prosecutors say
Good
he
Times? The dad from Good Times, John Amos?
Yeah.
The villain from Die Hard 2?
While the nightmare
Yeah,
of
he
these
was.
4 women ended, we have no idea how many other Alex Campbells are out there.
The alderman is proposing a new
My
ordinance
wife's
that
name is
increases
Florida
penalties
Jenkins.
for code and
Florida.
licensing violations, keeps all sexual
Oh,
areas
James.
covered during a massage, and changes the age eligible to work at a massage business from
You got to be
15
older
to
than
18.
16.
It is our hope that these reforms will help law enforcement deal with the bad operators and make things
Man,
easier
you guys are
for the
just
good
storming
Right.
on people just trying to make a living.
Now, the alderman's proposed ordinance
They
will
don't-
be introduced
they don't
to
get
the
on
city
top
council
and-
tomorrow. However,
right,
it may
you
not
know.
get a vote.
And besides, if you
until
want
this
your
summer.
junk to
Live
look
in West
bigger,
America on
put it in the hands of a midget.
WG's
Yeah. So there's that. Just go get your fill of massages before they crack down.
Before they get a sales tax increase, too.
So you're checking out the LOERadio radio show here at WNUR-FM, Evanston and Chicago. If you wanted to reach out and holla at some brothers in the studio, you could do so with this phone number, area code 847-866-9687. Again, that number is area code 847-866-WNUR. We're going to take a music break right now, and we're celebrating 25 years of service from the hip-hop duo known as the House of Pain and their debut release of Fine Malt Liquor. So we're going to play a couple of tracks off of that, and we'll come back and talk some more mess right after this. Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Check it out. WNUR.
Hey, this is Big J. Okerson, you're listening. It's hilarious. Hey, this is Big J. Okerson, you're listening to LOERadio. I don't know what the else is, but I'm looking at this guy, and it's probably involving butt stuff.
The LOERadio Show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radio Land. Fortunately for LOERadio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
Come on. Freeform programming here at WNUR-FM, Evanston and Chicago. You're checking out the Laugh or Else radio show. And We broadcast till roughly 2 a.m. every Saturday night into Sunday morning. And it is a Memorial Day weekend, so hopefully everybody's prepping their barbecues and such, goings-ons. Or whatever it is.
Going-ons.
Goings-ons.
Goings-ons and zons and zons. Kneel before zons.
Yes. And joining me in the studio, as always, is my co-host, Jay Salda.
That's right. Good to be back. What up, Chicago?
So, Jay, I think we should bust out some sports because I got more other stuff than I do sports.
Sounds good, man. What do you... we got a lot to talk about, man. We have the NHL... the
playoff.
Stanley Cup Championship now. The Pens and the Predators. The Predators, the wild card team to bust out our beloved Chicago Blackhawks, man. Who do you like in the series?
I can't say, man. I haven't been following it, but...
I think that Nashville is a team of destiny, man. I really do. I think that they're put themselves in the right place and stuff by not even being afraid of the front line of the Chicago Blackhawks, taking it to them and basically just saying, hey, man, we're here. They basically ripped all the way through the playoffs, had a couple close calls there, but it's going to be pretty interesting. And then you said that you like Golden State, right, over Cleveland in the rubber match?
Yeah, I mean, it's just because of the fact that this guy can shoot lights out when he needs to.
Who, Durant?
No, yeah, him too.
Oh, Stephen Curry?
Yeah.
Stephen Curry is an awesome specimen, man, as a shooting machine. Plus, they got Kevin Durant, man. You think it's his time to win one, huh?
I hope so, man.
But we haven't seen three NBA final same matchup, man, and ever, right? It's the first time, I think they said.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason he left OKC, is so he can ride on some coattails and catch himself a ring, you know?
Join the enemy, join the dark side, right? Yeah, and then
can't beat him, join him, right?
Can't beat him, join him. Your Cubs are still. You say you're not happy with the. You're not happy with the pitching.
I'm not happy with the hitting or the pitching as of right now. Schwarber's been in this cold slump. They can't find anywhere to put him out in the field, and they're giving him all this money. Yeah. And he's if he was a DH, he'd be making 40 home runs a year,
right? And
doing nothing else on the field, and that's the way we need him,
right?
And I think maybe what their intent is to hold out until the NL gets a DH.
The White Sox have used their Latino power in the locker room and signed the outfield prospect, Big Bat Luis Robert. Robert or Roberts? Robert. And speaking of Latino, the Chicago Bears have gone ahead and signed former New York Giant wide receiver and the man who celebrates his touchdown dances by salsa dancing. He salsa dances his way into the end zone.
He certainly does.
Out of Massachusetts, your new wide receiver for the Chicago Bears in a 1-year contract.
Wait. Let it build. Let it build.
Ooh.
Is who?
Victor Cruz. Cruz. 7-year veteran out of Massachusetts. Had his best years in 2011, 2013. The former one-time Pro Bowler. Has a career total of 3,626 yards with 23 touchdowns and 241 catches.
Look, I see him as a primary number one wideout.
You think so?
If he makes some sort of statement in camp,
all right,
that he's back and he's ready to play, because
he's ready to salsa dance into the end zone.
I want him to dance all over Soldiers Field, man.
And you know that they actually are being more lenient. The new NFL rules, they're letting him do a touchdown dance celebration.
I bet
no longer being flagged.
I bet you they give him only like 5 seconds though.
That's fine. Because that's 5 seconds is all you need.
Even back in the day, if you carried on too long, you're still unsportsmanlike. You know.
At least you're not Chad Johnson trying to bring out reindeer to the damn field,
or busting out Sharpies like T.O.
Or getting the girls pom-poms, right, and shaking them.
Okay, some of that stuff is good.
Some of that stuff is good, you're right. Injuries have slowed down the Victor Cruz because 6 games into the 2014 season, Timmer, he tore the patellar tendon in his right knee.
Oh, my God. The patellar.
Yes, missing the rest of the 2014 campaign. Missed all of 2015 when he tore the fascia, with a torn fascia in his left calf. The downside to him is that he will be 31 in November. So he is basically on the long in the tooth, as they say, on the wrong side of 30.
Right, but that's still, I mean, you still got 3, maybe 4 quality years.
Right.
If you're still at competitive stature.
Very true. No, very true. You're right.
know?
I'm hoping that we see. He says he has plenty of football left in that body.
Look, I'm
hoping he's right.
We saw what Adrian Peterson did after
that's
a career-ending injury.
That's a whole different specimen right there, my friend.
I know.
He is a whole nother monster. What he did is what Derrick Rose couldn't do.
I know, and that's not even about what he did to his kid.
Very true. Get the switch, boy. Get the switch. No, Daddy, not the switch.
No, Daddy, don't do that.
Not the switch. We were burning hell for joking about this, dude.
That kid was only, what, like 7 years old?
7 months old. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
7 months.
I'm kidding. I just kidding.
I kid.
Like, try and pienso. I kid.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to put a halt on some Mark Anthony here.
A little salsa. Yeah, it's okay, man. We're good.
But what else you got?
For sports, that's all. Oh, boxing news, man. A little bit of boxing news.
Yeah.
We saw a good fight today, man, in good old London, England. You saw that? You're from London.
Yeah.
Kell Brook lost his welterweight championship to the young American, Errol Spence Jr., as I called it. Got a chance to take in part of the fight. Very good show.
He took a proper beating.
He took a proper beating. He took a wee bit of the in out.
Yeah.
Fracturing his right orbital, what is orbital? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that correctly?
the around the eye.
Right, around the eye there. Fracturing that, and he was in bad shape. Actually quit in front of his hometown, man. The young American lad came in and took his belt. That eye was fractured by the monster known as the middleweight machine, knockout machine, Triple G, who is in line for a big money fight against the Mexican Ginger, speaking Irish there, Timmer, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Aha.
That's going to be Mexican Independence Weekend in September. I can't wait. You mentioned Dallas earlier. I still believe that big money fight like that has to have the right venue. I say that fight's going to be taking place in Dallas in front of the Cowboy Stadium, the AT&T Stadium, with 100,000 people in attendance, my friend.
Man.
And I wish to be part of those 100,000.
It's almost as big as when Mexico plays Puerto Rico in a soccer tournament.
This is just going to be the biggest fight, man. This is the biggest fight that boxing has to offer right about now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the outcome is of this.
Unlike that disappointing fight with Canelo and this guy.
Chavez Jr.?
Yeah.
That was horrible, man. That was so bad.
At least it went the distance.
I whitewashed him. Chavez Jr. went in there and said, this is probably the most money I'm going to make in my life. So he went in there and he just basically let himself take a beating. Canelo was basically sparring with the guy, hitting the head.
And the only reason he was there is because of who his daddy is.
Of course, man. Everybody knows the name Julio Cesar Chavez if you know boxing, especially in the mid 80s to mid 90s, rather. A decade of dominance is what the father had, Senior. But the Senior wasn't in there. It was Junior. And Junior prefers to pop brownies in the company of many women as he did that night. There's footage, Timmer. And he lost his cell phone, man. His buddies didn't protect him, and they took a video of him with 4 girls on it, like 4 or 5 girls on him.
What?
Not that I'm knocking that by any means. I would trade everything in a heartbeat. But at least don't get, because that's how the whole Kobe Bryant Ben Roethlisberger rape accusations happen, man. Protect yourself, young man, not just in the ring.
And Hossa,
Yeah. But it's not a good thing. But anyways, I'm looking forward to the big middleweight showdown. Some good boxing coming up. We mentioned Sergey Kovalev is going to be with the rematch with Andre Ward coming up. We just had a couple other Bud Crawford from Omaha, Nebraska.
When's the next Klitschko fight? I don't care.
He lost to Anthony Joshua, who they're looking to set up with Mr. Haymaker himself. That would be Mr. The American from Deontay Wilder, man. This guy's unorthodox, man. He's not a controlled fighter. He basically throws punches in bunches, and that's how he wins. He's a big dude. He's a strong dude, and
he just swarms his
opponent.
opponent.
It's no disrespect to the guy, but he doesn't have the skill level of other more disciplined fighters.
Sure.
And then don't forget, man, I know you're interested in this, the circus that will be
the
Colin McGregor versus Money Mayweather, my friend. That looks like it's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered.
We got a date?
Not yet, but it will soon.
This year or maybe early next year?
This year. Look for it in the fall, I think. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. Talking about whitewashing, I don't think that McGregor gets a punch off of
well, I'm concerned that
Mayweather
for Conor McGregor, if he's got to fight just a boxing match. Because That's Mayweather's game.
No takedowns.
Yeah.
There's no takedowns here. You know
Well,
that.
that's what I mean. Is like who's putting the fight on? Is it the WBC or is it the
it's
UFC?
boxing, my friend. It's not. It's not Dana White.
So
it's boxing.
McGregor has to go and get a license.
He has to have boxing
fight.
boots on. He has to have boxing shoes on. He has to get a license.
He's gonna get whooped.
They were even saying that they're afraid that if he's just basically getting basically getting whooped all 12 rounds, that don't be surprised if he tries to go for like a takedown.
He's gonna throw
an elbow.
He's gonna turn into what happened? That female fighter. The one that did all the movies.
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, he's gonna turn into a Rousey with all his spectacle.
Really, he's gonna look good then, huh?
Yeah.
You don't like that? You don't like the Rousey?
No,
she gets dolled up. She's okay.
Right. But
I mean, she's no.
But when
Wonder
she's in
Woman.
the ring, she looks like Amy Schumer, and I'm not
She
cool
looks
with
like
that.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Remember the meme that they had her? She's like sloth, love, chunk.
Yeah, I remember.
But she dolls up. She's all right, man.
Amy Schumer was supposed to be Barbie in a movie.
Oh boy,
I know.
Yeah. She steals jokes too, man. Come on now.
She stole half her act from every other comedian before her.
We talked about it too here on the LOERadio Show.
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal, man. You played it.
There's two like long ass videos that are like 7 minutes each of at least 10 different comedians she stole.
Oh, boo.
Even from people she calls her mentors like Dave Attell and Mark Maron. It's like, how do you do this?
The great Mark Maron. Boo.
It's because she don't write her own stuff.
Right,
man.
of course
somebody else writes it and they steal it.
I'm basically over her, man. I thought she was the greatest thing since
she got a new movie out this week
with her and Goldie Hawn.
Oh my God, her first movie in how many years?
Snatched, it's called.
Forget
not
it.
Snatch, not the Great Guy Ritchie movie. Snatch with Bullet Tooth Tony and
Bricktop.
That's right.
Oh, he's my favorite.
I love
bad
that
guy.
He's like, do you take sugar? And he's like, in your tea? No, it's like, not Turkish. I'm sweet enough.
Yeah.
And he was like, Tyrone, why did you park the van over there? It's too tight. Too tight? You can land a flipping jumbo jet inside of that, Tyrone.
Yeah. The dog swallows the squeaky toy.
And he swallows a diamond. Remember that, too.
Yeah.
Great cat. Jason Statham early on. There's a bunch of cameos.
That was
the great late Dennis Farina from Chicago.
Yeah, he played a huge role in that movie.
He was huge in it, man.
He flew.
Sit down and shut up, you big bald F.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he talking to me? I was like, he's talking to me through the TV or what?
All right. So what we could do here is take a music break and then come back and talk some funny news.
Absolutely.
Let's see how much time we got left.
What we got?
I can't see a clock.
I see 1:23 on my
take a music
smartphone.
break. It's going to be at least 12 minutes, and we got about a half hour, so we'll come back and do... I say we do a couple of stories, and then we'll see where to break if we'll do some more music.
Sounds good.
Well, interesting stuff, Jay. Burger King is looking to serve alcohol. I know how a cold Budweiser would wash down that Whopper.
That disgusting Whopper stuff that'll slide right through me.
Oh, it's...
with the oversaturated fats and everything, and then those greasy fries.
Diarrhea just thinking about it.
Yeah. I like to wake up and have like a tall boy, man, with my 2 for $3 croissants.
Oh, the ham ones. And
the ham and bacon.
The ham is spoiled.
Right, and then the bacon's like a little strip. It looks like a used condom and stuff that's been in the sun. No. And it's crunchy like a used condom. Like that. And then the sausage is like, the worst the greasiest, nastiest thing you can ingest.
It's got them little hard chunks of like cartilage in
right.
there.
I pull little pieces of something out.
It's cartilage.
The one, yeah, you're right. The one thing I will like about Burger King, and honestly for the breakfast item, is the tater tots, the hash brown bites.
Sure.
That's about it, though, man.
But according to Fox News, Jay, soon you might be spending happy hour at a local fast food chain instead of your favorite bar. One New York City Burger King franchise is seeking approval to serve alcohol at a location in Midtown Manhattan. The franchise Rexon Restaurants LLC recently approached a local community board about applying for a liquor license, reports DNA Info. Anyone who wants a liquor license has to come to us first. So they came to us. Community Board 5 District Member Wally Rubin explained to DNA Info. It goes on to say... but don't expect to be buying Whoppers with wine just yet. Due to the high number of applications it receives, the community board has chosen not to take up the matter. There's no word whether the license will be approved by the state liquor authority. Adding liquor to a traditional fast food operation isn't easy unless it's inside like a stadium.
Right. What wine goes good with a Whopper? You said a wine with Whopper. People think like a 1990-something Chablis. I'm thinking like a Mad Dog 2020, baby.
Yeah, or a Boone's Farm.
I would like the buns of the barns of. I messed that up. I would like the farms of the Boone.
The farms of the Boones.
The farms of the Boone.
As there are multiple restrictions restaurants must adhere to, any alcoholic beverage cannot be handled by an employee who are minors. And this goes for the same in grocery stores.
Right. They're just taking sips in the back, kids, but they'll be fine.
You ever stand behind somebody because the cashier called 21?
That's right.
I can't press a button unless somebody who's 21
on 4, 21 on 4.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. And then no beer available for takeout, obviously.
Boo.
So you don't
St. Texas, huh?
Or Louisiana, you don't get a to-go cup. You can just sip in the ride, according to Downtown Express. Read more at Fox News if you're interested in being lied to. That's a joke.
I know.
I mean, Fox News is a joke.
Very good, sir. Very good follow-up.
Man,
you're on the money today, my friend.
So after Mother's Day, this story arose. A man carrying his own mother's severed head walks into a grocery store, stabs a worker.
So kills his mom on Mother's Day,
decapitates
her, heads
her
off her head, takes the head in, and goes to the store.
Yeah, because, he needed butter or something.
Oh. It
says
was his name Norman Bates?
According to WGN9, warning, report contains content that some may find disturbing. Tune out now if you're easily offended. Estacada, Oregon, sheriff's authorities say that a man drenched in blood carrying his mother's severed head walked into an Oregon grocery store on Mother's Day and stabbed an employee. Workers at Thriftway Market in Estacada managed to stop the attack by tackling the suspect and pinning him until law enforcement arrived. The suspect, 36-year-old Joshua Lee Webb. Why is it the lunatics always have, like...
Three names?
Yeah.
Like
Lee Harvey
Billy Joe
Oswald.
Baker?
Yeah.
What's his name again? Joshua Lee Webb? Is that it?
The guy that shot Reagan's due for parole this year.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. He shot Brady. The Brady Bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
this guy's what? Joshua Lee Webb, you said?
Yeah. He was booked Monday on charges of murder and attempted murder, according to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department. Clackamas? Yeah. Before walking through the doors of the Thriftway store Sunday afternoon, authorities believe Webb killed his mother, 59-year-old Tina Marie Webb, at the home they shared in Colton, about 10 miles away. Authorities said a distraught relative called 911 after finding Tina's body. Clackamas County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Nate Thomas confirmed that her head was recovered at the Thriftway Market.
Terrible, man.
Well, at least she can have an open casket now.
That's
they can
horrible.
Sew her head back on.
That's bad.
Webb was transported. I don't mean to laugh at it.
No, I know.
Webb was transported to a local hospital after his arrests, while the employee he's accused of stabbing was transported by air. Ooh, that must have been brutal. The hospital told Sandy Police Sunday night that the victim is expected to make a full recovery. The gruesome murder and stabbing comes as a huge shock to the small community of 3,000 residents. It's really a shame. On Mother's Day, too, it's really a sad thing to see on Mother's Day. Well, no kidding. It's really a sad thing to see at any time. Estacada Fire Department chaplains were on hand Monday to help grocery store employees and customers affected by the terrifying ordeal. There's a bit of a news report, but we're going to skip it for the sake of time. So, apparently his mother didn't like what he got him for a gift. And he cut her head off.
Yeah.
This is a disturbing story that was brought up to me by a mutual friend, Jay.
What's that, sir?
Comcast is using customers' personal info so they can sign anti-net neutrality petitions on behalf of you to the FCC.
Yeah, I did see that.
This is the most appalling thing I can think of, that somebody you pay for a monthly service to go and do with your information. Comcast is using customers' personal info so they can sign an anti-net neutrality petition on behalf of you to the FCC. One anon on 4chan discovered that Comcast was using customers' personal information to send thousands of anti-net neutrality comments to the FCC. Much is completely faked, using stolen names and addresses. And an example is 500,000. That's just, I guess, a picture of the original post. By using your personal information, they are doxing you. Doxing is when somebody uses all your personal information and then makes it public. You can check here to see if Comcast is using your personal information. Jay, do you got Comcast?
Internet, I do.
We'll run your name through this here in a second and see if they're using you, because I ran mine, and apparently they were not.
All right.
Maybe it just hasn't reached our areas yet. Here's someone else exposing Comcast for their doxing customers, and there's an example of an email. Comcast needs to step down and stop this, and I agree completely. They want to be able to tell you that if you want to use Netflix, not only do you have to pay your Netflix fees, but you'll have to pay them a premium if you want high definition or standard definition, which means, you know, if you want to watch this movie in HD, click here to add $2.99 to your bill. Is what it accounts to. And it's more like, I don't know if you've seen this, Jay, but recently video games have this thing where if you suck at the game, you can buy things to make you better from the start.
Right.
And they call it pay to win. Mm-hmm. And this is a similar idea, but with the internet. And the internet's supposed to be a free and open place for the exchange of information and ideas. Comcast should not be allowed to tell you where you can go or what you can look at, what you can download, and who should get priority over. Because obviously companies that are intertwined with Comcast and whatever media groups are going to get preferential treatment, whereas somebody with an opposing brand or product is going to get pushed to the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, so that stifles creativity, and Comcast is a gigantic conglomerate that in certain areas you have no alternatives.
Right.
So
it's NBC Comcast, right?
Now it is, yeah.
Right.
NBC Comcast, which means it's MSNBC and Microsoft as well.
Right.
This is like the trifecta of crap in corporate
a monopoly,
media.
basically,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and they keep the separate names when it could all just be one name, you know, for tax sake or whatever, because you don't want to be called a monopoly when you own half of the damn publishing rights to everything.
Even though you are.
Yeah, so the second you get Google Fiber in your neighborhood, drop Comcast is what I would suggest.
I'm going to, man. I'm not really happy with their service.
No, and it's usually interrupted, and when it's raining, it's bad. Like, there's so many things, dude. And then because I live in an apartment with like 40 units, if somebody's like whole section of their cable is bad, then that means mine's bad too. Because,
that's terrible.
You know, it's all this spaghetti outside with the wires. What else is happening? Police catch pigeon with backpack full of drugs.
Was it? I know how that went. I got crack. I got weed. What you trying to do?
Looking to party?
Looking to party?
So, according to Fox 32, a homing pigeon was caught trying to smuggle drugs into Kuwait, like the state, like in the Middle East.
Yeah, Kuwait.
That's kind of far for Fox to give a crap about. According to local reports, authorities tracked a bird, say that came from Iraq, which sits right next to Kuwait. Authorities were able to capture a pigeon above a building near Kuwait Customs Department. The bird was wearing a tiny backpack containing 178 pills of what? They don't say.
Right.
Reports say the pills were ecstasy. I guess it did say if I would have read one more sentence.
Just a little bit.
Although shocking to read about, birds have never been caught smuggling drugs before. In 2015, guards in a prison in Costa Rica caught a jailbird flying cocaine and marijuana into the prison, which I would think would be more beneficial than ecstasy.
I think whoever came up with the pigeon idea has been watching too much Hangover Part 2. Hang on, gay boys!
I'm here, bitches.
That's right. But did you die?
Yeah. There was a little picture of the gray backpack. They like colored it with a marker to make it look like the pigeon. And then you open it, and it's, you know, not a bad idea, but...
That's the pigeon. What you got in there? He's like, bread?
Crackers. What do you think?
Bread and crackers. And not white people, but, you know, crackers.
This one's kind of a creepy story. We'll come back to that. Maybe.
What you got? All right.
Two arrested for trying to get an alligator drunk. Also from Fox 2. 32.
So they're trying to get an alligator drunk. Was a sheep not cooperating or what?
I guess not. Or maybe they had their fill and it was dead. Yeah.
They got the fill of the fill?
The fill of the, yeah. Two men who admitted to blowing smoke into a young alligator's mouth and pouring beer down his throat have been charged with harassing wildlife. State Department of Natural Resources spokeswoman Kendall McConchie said Friday that 20-year-old Joseph Andrew Floyd Jr. and 21-year-old Zachary Lloyd Brown, all these idiots.
There's your three names,
all these idiots.
Zachary Lloyd Brown.
There you go.
What's your favorite band there, Zachary? Zach Brown Band? A little bit of chicken fried.
They admitted to officers that they picked up the alligator after they saw it crossing the road. McConchie said the two original men also acknowledged posing photos of their actions to social media. First of all, if you're going to do something dumb, put down the camera.
Yeah, right.
We talked about this trend of people doing absolute
of course.
Dumb crap all over social media. And this is, there's a photo. I'll post this in the.
He's like, the guy's defense were like, hey, man, that alligator was winking and flirting with me.
Look how he's grabbing his throat here, drink it, you bastard.
I know, right? Drink it, girl.
You want it.
That alligator was waving his childbearing hips at me, boy.
He was asking for it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So, yeah.
America.
They were arrested, and as well they should be. Lyft driver attacked by passenger. Fake homeless woman gets busted in infuriating video.
Yeah, I saw that with panhandling, correct?
This is why people hate white people. I guarantee it.
You mean besides Donald Trump or what?
Yeah,
okay.
well.
That goes without saying.
Before Trump, I think people like this woman initiated the hatred. And as well, it's deserved.
Yeah.
So
this is the panhandler you're saying.
Right.
I know,
so this guy's like filming her, I guess.
Right.
He's in a parking lot, and he must have seen her pull up because he knows where she's walking to her car.
No, you're all right.
What are you doing?
Just wondering why you have a 2014 when you're begging for change all over the city of Richmond. You're on.
Don't you leave me alone?
You're viral. You're on Facebook. You're the talk of the town this morning. What would you like to say to everybody in Richmond?
You know what? That's it.
How much did you make today?
Why
How much
are
is
you
in that bag?
Why does it look like she's going to yoga class?
You better get me off your cell
She got a clutch bag.
Everyone, be warned.
I'm sorry,
How much you make today? I'm gonna go to McDonald's. You're parking in their parking lot and not being a customer either.
Like that's the worst of her problems.
Right. She's wanting to get the cops.
Right. She's trying to get in donations as she goes with her alarm.
Right. And then now she's probably going in to get breakfast with the money she had.
How do you feel about this?
These people won't leave me alone. Why are they taking pictures of me in my
We have a right. This is a free country. We're not doing anything. Did you know that she parks
The black
in the
woman in the
every
window is
day
like, I ain't trying to
never
get
spent
involved in
$1 here and begs for
this. Take
change?
your white nonsense out of here.
Right.
White people
Next time you see that
problems.
car,
She's free to leave. Is all. We can't stop her from getting in the car and driving away.
They can't stop you and driving away.
This is it's on NBC 12 on Facebook. This is gonna go viral. It already is viral.
I don't know
Thank
if
you. We
there's
got
something to
everything
brag
we need.
about.
That's
but-
illegal to do that.
Come here.
I don't know what to say. You got a phone? Yeah, I've got a phone.
You can call the police if you need to, but there's nothing that I can do. As
They
long
can't
as
do
they
anything
haven't
either.
put their hands on you or anything like that.
We can't stop her
I
from
can
getting in the
call
car
the
and driving
police.
away either.
Can you tell me why
Right.
they're doing this?
So why
You
they're
should
fine.
know
I don't
why
know
it's
them,
wrong.
I don't know you, so I don't.
It's wrong.
But you can ask
I
them,
don't
though.
know you.
So why are y'all doing this?
Because it's wrong.
You're taking people's money. You have look at your car. What year is that?
It's wrong.
What year is that vehicle?
What is he talking about?
How much? Where do you live?
What is he talking? Like
You're
she
begging
knows
for money.
you're out
What do you
panhandling.
want?
You're begging
Who are
money.
you?
Why you do it?
Because
Stop
we're
stealing
gonna-
people's money.
we're
Stop
gonna
begging for
follow
money.
you
You own a
and see what
car.
kind of house you
You're
pull.
not homeless. Some people are really
Okay.
homeless. Some people are really homeless and need
so
help.
do you think that people have to stand out here because they're homeless?
Why do you stand out here?
Because I have a
What does your
disability.
sign say?
What are you
That's
disabled
some
from?
hardcore stuff,
What's your
man.
nature of disability?
your sign
What is
say?
nature of disability? What is
That's
it?
none of your business.
Because you
I
don't
have
have a
two
disability.
May I see
You
your
don't have a
sign?
disability.
Maybe it's mental
What
or
is
You don't have a
disability.
disability.
Yeah,
Your
it's clearly
sign says
her
you're
disability. She's obviously wearing clean clothes, got a pair of
We're
glasses.
not stopping you from getting in your car and leaving. Go ahead and get in your car and
What's she
leave.
wearing around her head?
What does he have to do with you?
She's mad because these dudes are trolling her now.
She parks in your parking lot. That's her car. and she goes and begs for money on the corner. That's her car right there.
What a bitch.
Y'all bark around me right now.
I bark wherever I want to bark.
No, you don't bark around me.
You're begging for money. You're begging for money. Look at your car.
What from me, you stupid?
I want you to leave. Go.
You stupid.
You stupid.
Someone's gonna end up killing
See,
me.
this is where this white privilege BS
I'm
comes
not harassing
from.
anybody. You're stealing people's money.
It's people doing this kind of nonsense.
Hey, they won't leave me alone.
They won't leave me alone. All right, well, we're gonna leave her alone.
Somebody's gonna kill you.
Hopefully that woman, I don't know, forgets how to breathe while she's sleeping or something.
No. Hopefully she has a epiphany and gives all the money back, or donates it to a worthy cause. People that are really hungry.
She ain't giving no money back.
She's not giving nothing back. You think?
I doubt it.
Nah.
I doubt it. We got a few more stories here, more videos to criticize idiots about. The police caught the man. Here's the story. I said it was kind of grim. In Arkansas, a woman who hoarded dogs eaten by her pets after a sudden death.
Well, what do you expect, man? She doesn't go out and get the kibbles and bits anymore. She becomes the kibbles and bits.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm guessing is happening.
Nearly 50 dogs dies in her home. Then unfed animals turned to her remains for nourishment. Caregiver Stephanie Sharp was in Clinton today. She explains how this woman has been in trouble before for hoarding animals. Stephanie.
Bob, yeah, she was in trouble for hoarding animals about 3.5 years ago. At that time, the county took all of her dogs and took them into their custody. But in late August, they were called to her house where they found 46 dogs.
She got more dogs.
The sheriff says the pets were so vicious they couldn't even get to the woman. She suffered from hepatitis C. County authorities were concerned the animals may spread the disease into the community. One of those dogs actually bit a veterinarian there on scene. After several weeks of caring for the pets they say that were wild, the county made the decision to shoot more than 24 of them.
That's a shame. All because one woman.
Resource we had. We had tried everything else and it just failed.
Worst case scenario, we had to put the dogs down. We had to shoot them.
There are still about 8 dogs left on the property. The animal control officer says they're trying to figure out at this point what to do with the rest. Van Buren County also consulted with the state health department's veterinarian. I did talk to the state health department today, and they believe at this time that hepatitis C would not be spread through pets. Back to you.
Hepatitis C.
Hepatitis.
That's the actions of one person could infect an entire community of people, dude.
Yeah.
Hoarding dogs, they take them away. You go get more. Somehow you die. I'm guessing she tripped on a dog toy, hit her head on a sink.
Dogs gotta eat.
Yeah, man. And them dogs, instinct kicks in. They start smelling flesh, and they ain't,
Right. And when she bent over, Rover took over.
Oh, I'm over here now.
That's right.
So,
Jill came down with 250.
Oh, she's a whore. What constitutes hoarding of animals, Jay? How many pets do you think you're allowed?
How many pets do you need?
I don't know. I've seen people with
what are you fostering them? What is she doing?
I've seen people with 4 dogs and 2 cats. That to
animal
me,
lover. How many people? Realistically, is that her job? How much? If
you're a breeder, I understand.
Do you have a big enough? I'm talking about acres of land that you can adequately fit these 50 dogs to go out, get fresh air.
They all lived in her double wide.
Then that's hoarding. That's hoarding.
Yeah, I believe that.
You're a whore who's hoarding, lady.
She's a hoarder.
She's a hoarder.
A hoarder.
Hoarder.
Don't hoard your dogs.
I know, right? Don't hold the door like freaking Game of Thrones, but she's a hoarder.
You'll appreciate this, Jay.
What we got?
A student gets really upset at a teacher, and he starts to mock him, and he storms out of the room like an entitled white kid. Man, you white people need to stop this.
This is WPS, as my cousin says, white people stuff.
I'm disowning the brand.
You're disowning the brand?
I'm gonna go sign up.
Are you getting uncrackerized?
Yeah, I'm gonna go sign up with the Browns or something.
Hey, we'll welcome you. Amigo, el team, el señor team,
I'm a Mexican,
¿cómo está?
American.
But I still bang girls named Debbie.
My name is Timoteo.
But I bang girls named Kuka and Kika.
Yeah. So
nice.
let's witness some more white privilege unfold.
That's what we got.
This is awful, dude. I want to punch this kid. All right. And his poor teacher.
I stop talking. You do not come up to me, Dr. Shu. Get my goddamn face.
You go there.
All right.
Sit down. Okay?
You go sit down.
Why you told
Is he Asian, the teacher?
Oh, he's
Come up to me like that.
I believe
he's Asian.
Who
He's
the
Korean
fuck
somehow.
you think you are?
Whoa.
Yeah, twitch your little fucking face. Turn around and raise your fist like that, Dr. Shu. Do it again.
I'd have slammed this
I'm
kid
not
already.
fucking playing. All right.
I couldn't be a teacher.
Come up to me and do that to me.
I'd spank him.
I'll do it to you.
Listen here, Cody. You want these hands?
All right.
You want these hands?
Shut your fucking mouth.
His name's like Carter.
Oh.
Fucking tell me.
His name's Carter.
Who
Dylan.
the fuck you think you are?
Or Mackenzie even.
The fuck, nigga? Fucking bitch.
I think he's off his meds or something.
Get the Ritalin, kid.
Oh.
I keep some fiddling because that takes me Ritalin.
Dr. Shu, huh? You took the fucking trash can to me, huh?
We're going to get out. Just get out.
Go.
Seriously.
Even the girl's like, just get out. Oh, did you hear how bold he got at the end?
Right, of course he did. He's walking away.
Oh, Jesus Christ, kid.
Let this kid get locked up for
I hope
something.
I hope he smarts off somewhere like where,
in prison?
somewhere like that where somebody overhears him and they're like, "What'd you say? Say it again."
What'd you say about my mama?
I feel sorry for your mother.
Hurry up and buy.
So, as following the trend of people with senses of entitlement, I'm not sure this is a white person, but wouldn't surprise me if it is. Man gets rude woman to reimburse him for a movie ticket after a bad date.
Nice.
So I'm gonna guess this is like some sort of Tinder date where he volunteered to pay, and then she disappointed him somehow, and now he's asking for his money back.
She didn't fall for the old thing in the popcorn bucket trick?
I guess not.
Uh-huh.
I think she was still on Tinder as they were at the movie theater.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This dude is suing this woman
dude.
for texting during their
That's
first
some good
date.
journalism right there.
No
This
joke.
dude.
Yeah, Inside Edition.
As though this behavior was perfectly normal. So much so that I actually thought to myself, who does this?
Brandon Vesmar met Crystal
Are you
Cruz
sure you
on
weren't looking
Bumble,
for
the online dating site. He took her
I was
to see
thinking the same
Guardians of
thing.
Galaxy
She didn't have a
Volume 2
penis,
on
so I said,
Saturday
"Give me my
night
money
at
back."
This movie theater in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Brandon paid $17.31 for each ticket.
Damn, it's
It was
$40
going just
for
fine
two people now?
until
About 15 minutes into the movie,
Might have been
the phone comes
real
out.
3D.
It's text, read.
I think he's gonna kill me.
And this is a story.
My best friend texted me to make sure I was okay on my date.
I think you were
Was
fine
about
there
a
with sugar
total
lips.
of 3
Little
texts.
sugar in his tank.
Do you think your texting was obnoxious?
No,
Of
not
course.
at all.
But Brandon says he really got fed up.
She lied. She said she was transgendered.
I've seen people get kicked out of movies for things like this.
He's like
Next thing I know, she
look how
says, "I'll be
flamboyant he
right
is."
He's
back."
like a gay
Stands
Quentin
up,
Tarantino.
leaves
I know.
him. I'll be right back. Never saw her again.
Now, most guys would be like, whatever, not a good match.
Quentin
move on.
Tarantino?
But not
Yeah.
Brandon. The next day, he sent Crystal a
Quentin
text
Quarantino?
demanding his
Quentin Tarantino, nice.
$17.31 back.
Your behavior Saturday was not only rude, but it cost me money. I want you to compensate me for the $17 movie
you
ticket.
are a
Will you do
D-bag.
this,
No,
or
he's a
do I
diva.
have to pursue the money in
Yeah.
small claims court?
I texted him
Small
back,
claims
"This is
court?
insane. I'm
20
not
bucks?
paying
Dude,
back for the
really?
date." I laughed
I'd
it off.
sooner
because
go
I
smear
didn't
dog
Are
poop
you
on
mad
it.
because she didn't put the strap on at the end of the
But he
night, buddy?
meant
That's what he didn't
Here's
get a
the
pegging.
paperwork Brandon just filed in small claims court
What?
demanding
Small.
It costs you more to file.
$17.31.
Crystal
He
Cruz?
even claims
Maybe she wants a real
Crystal's
man.
texting habit is a threat to civilized society.
Oh my God. These are first world problems. You know that.
These are white people problems,
Back
Jay.
to the movie theater where
These
the
are California
tickets
white
sell.
people problems.
Crystal
Texas,
has something
though.
she wants to say to you.
What do you want to say, Crystal?
The date just didn't work out, and I will
If
love
you didn't
to
act
give
like
you
such
your
a douchebag,
Such a
we might have
bitch.
talked again.
If you
Yeah.
can just leave this alone.
I
You
do
acted
accept,
more like a lady.
The apology
Here's your $17.
and the
Where was that
$17.31. Let's count it right, just to make sure it's all.
Oh my God, dude. You should have paid him in pennies, lady.
I would have
31
gave
cents.
him
I
rolls of
appreciate
pennies.
this.
Settled?
It's settled,
And throw
man.
it- and throw it
Time
in
to
his-
withdraw this court case. Absolutely, it's settled.
Don't bet
What
on
a
a second date for these two.
D-bag.
God. Man.
So you're saying we're not going to have wedding invitations soon?
No.
Good Lord.
I hope not.
What a D-bag. I wanted... Timmer, check this out, man. As, you know, when I was playing the field, as they say, I've been on several very not good first dates, whether it was no chemistry on their part or my part, whatever the case may be. I don't think at ever one time I said I want my money back. I think I said I say that after bad hooker sex, but I've never said that after a bad regular date. But I think I don't think I've ever said I want my money back. I don't think I've ever said that.
Did you tell the escort, let's go Dutch?
Let's go Dutch? No, how about a Dutch oven, you girl, if you don't get down there again?
Ooh. All right. So
I kid. I would never pay for sex again.
So I got another instance of debaggery.
Debaggery?
Yeah, this one is courtesy of a Lyft passenger. I haven't done Lyft. I've done an Uber, but again, with the entitlement and people thinking that because you transport them around for a living that you're less than human.
Right.
And I've worked in the service industry, and I don't believe that's fair to anybody.
It's not.
I gave a cab driver a $5 tip one time. My girlfriend said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm tipping the guy." She's like, "He makes enough." I said, he only makes money after a certain amount he brings in. Anything after that he gets to keep.
Right.
So this $5 to him is going to go a long way. And I couldn't understand why she was so baffled by that. I was like,
"Hey, thanks for the tip, buddy. You should be happy with the tip I gave you. You should be kissing my ass."
Yeah. Put back in bowl. All right, so let's check out the Lyft driver verbal assault on the driver. So, warning, foul language, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Record.
Gotta be Florida.
Thank you for extending me your seat cover. Considering I had nothing, you offered me no napkin.
No, you didn't ask.
Nothing.
Oh, it is a white girl.
You didn't offer
She seems
me
like she's pretty
anything
3 sheets to the wind there.
blow my nose.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's on a tequila.
Didn't ask.
For the seat cover.
You haven't spoken to me since you've
What do
gotten
you
in
need
the
a
car. I
seat
said,
cover
hello, how are
for?
you?
Are you leaky?
Thank you, madam.
She's not wearing any panties?
Considered me your jealousy from picking me up.
I'm jealous of picking you up.
Yes, you are so jealous from picking me up. Thank you for offering me your seat cover.
What? And she's blowing her nose?
I really appreciate that. What
Clean it up,
else do you
Cocor.
have to offer me, madam?
Yeah, that's
Madam.
You think that's what's going on?
Probably. She's on some meth.
This seems to be like 4 or 5 in the morning. The sun's just coming up.
Anything else to blow my nose? A napkin? Like I was asking you for? You have no napkin?
Do you really want to make it this next half a mile, or do you want to walk it, honey?
Do you want to... a quarter mile.
I have the right to kick you out of my car.
Excuse me. What do you want to offer me?
I want to offer you 0.4
you got a gram or some
Shut your ass. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Oh, you're going to tell me to shut up?
I said shut your mouth. Yeah.
You're going to offer me to shut up?
Oh my god.
That's all you have?
I just met you, girl. I want to offer you to shut up.
That's it? But to like offer me to
There you go, girl. Ride's over.
I think she's trying to put the camera in a spot so you can watch the girl.
That reminds me, Tim. I'll tell you right now.
Are you going to offer me?
You gonna
I have
offer me?
nothing else to offer you, honey.
Nothing else to offer me except
I'm gonna offer you a sidewalk.
Yep.
Get the F out.
Yeah. Oh my god. What is wrong with this girl? Oh my god.
I'm sorry, what?
It's disposable, just like you.
Whoa, nice.
Nice.
Nothing.
She recognizes trash when she sees it.
You obviously have something going on.
I'm sorry.
Get her out of the car.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'd be dragging her out.
Hey, Tim, this reminds me of one of those back cop car back videos that they had. This girl kicking the door, gets sprayed right in the face. Remember that one?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah, with the
GPS
maze.
just says in 0.1 mile.
I just told you what you just said.
No, I wouldn't be against a Lyft driver carrying some mace.
765. Your patient's treating me like shit because I'm coughing.
Oh my god, this is something my little sister would do if I'm trying to have an adult discussion with somebody else that she's trying to talk to.
Where is your apartment?
No,
Oh my
no,
God.
I don't have the same skin tone as you, so you're kicking me out of your car. car,
No,
bitch.
What is because that
what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
An
I don't
idiot.
have this
You
fucking
fell
same
off the
skin
idiot
tone as
tree
so
and you
your
hit
ride
every
is
branch
over.
on the way
Your
down.
ride is over.
Yeah,
Your ride is over.
My ride is over.
Your ride is over.
Because I don't have the same skin tone as you.
Oh
because
my God! Now it's all racist.
I don't have the same skin tone as you,
That's
bitch. Because
now
I
we're
don't
gonna
have the
fight.
same
I'm a
skin
Lyft
tone
driver,
as you.
and
I'm
if you
sorry.
could call the police, that would be awesome.
Lyft drivers, you.
Oh, you don't spit on people.
What the fuck?
Oh, you're about to get beat up.
She got the right hand. She getting the right hands.
You're about to get a foot, a hand.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Will you please call the police?
Get her in
Police right now.
a holding cell immediately. This woman is bound to get killed with that mouth. Look, I don't I don't condone hitting a woman, but if it's another woman and you acting like
have
this,
at it, sweetheart. Nothing like a cat fight.
oh man, and this woman is she's not having it. She probably got out of bed for this ride too,
Right,
you know.
right.
She's like, oh, I gotta hustle. My kid's birthday's coming up, and just pick up some drunks and drop them off, and then they turn out like this. Oh my God, poor people.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to everybody in the service industry, especially when they gotta work on holidays, man.
Absolutely. I've
been there. All them nights I had to close the barcade.
Right.
You know, on the holidays, and you know there were no short hours. Every now and again, we were promised to get out at midnight. Yeah, well,
I say we get a GoFundMe thing for that lady. I like that lady.
Yeah, I
like her.
I'd like to have a bunch of drunk dude bros in her car.
Yeah,
get more video on her. You're trash, just like you. Just like
you're disposable, just like you.
Yeah,
I love that. I love it.
All right, so don't take crap from white people that have been drinking till 5 a.m. and they're on coke in your Lyft ride.
Damn right.
I don't tolerate it. You shouldn't either. Like I said, I'm getting off of their team.
Right.
I want to be drafted by another.
You want to get
squad.
drafted like the racial draft, like Chappelle Show?
Yeah. I want to go with Tiger.
Right. And he goes, the Mexicans draft Timmer.
Yeah.
Timmer Radicek.
Orderly!
He eats enough tacos. We're calling him now Taco Timmer.
So I think that's going to wrap it up for us, Jay.
I think that's it, man. Good show, man. Thanks for having me on again, my friend.
Hey, anytime, bro. Anytime.
Of course.
You're part of the show, man.
I know. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. It's good to be back, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to have a good back and forth while we're here. So we're wrapping up the celebration of 25 years since the release of House of Pain and their debut album, Fine Malt Liquor, with the only track that I haven't played yet that made them famous.
What we got? You know what it is.
Yeah. You know what it is.
I think I do.
So
I think I do.
Stay tuned. There's more great free-form programming coming at you at WNUR. I believe it is the Front Porch Radio Experience. So you're going to want to stay tuned for those fellas. They play some more hardcore stuff, some more modern hip-hop and rap type music. So check those guys out. You can always catch us next Saturday at midnight from midnight to 2. And if you were so interested, you can find us on the Facebook at LOERadio or you can use the hashtag LOERadio on Facebook as well as Twitter and YouTube to find replays of shows and clips that I've cut.
Can
Jay,
I drop a little plug?
I was just going to tell you, Jay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead and throw down.
I got, I've been doing a couple podcasts, as you know, on Willpower Coy's podcast. Just go to my Facebook page or look up Willpower Coy, COIX podcast. Talking boxing. Last time we had former world champion Angel Manfredi on, the Pride and Joy of Gary, Indiana, and we broke down some boxing. So check it out.
Where can I hear it? iTunes?
Yeah, it actually is available on iTunes. So
say the
Willpower Coy, COIX.
Willpower Coy.
That's right. He's a boxer out of West Chicago. Nice young man. He's coming up in the boxing scene. So check it out, man. Also available on Google Play, man.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
Anything that Jay didn't cover in boxing on the show here, you want to check it out with him and his guy. This guy's an actual fighter as well as a coach, and these guys they're doing it seriously. So
absolutely
check them out. How many shows a week? 1, 2?
He does several shows on different things, on workouts and on self-improvement, self-imaging. As far as breaking down boxing, inviting guests on, we do it every Friday.
Most excellent, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you again next week.
Can't wait, my friend.
To play us out.
Yeah.
Let's jump around.
Bow, bow.
Stay tuned, WNUR.